Lesson 4, slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is a linear equation in the form y equals mx plus b. This is a big equation that you need to memorize here. Y equals mx plus b. M represents the slope. B represents the y-intercept. Okay, basically remember the last couple days here we've been figuring out what M has represented. M is a slope. Two ways to find it. One, we had the rise over the run where we constructed that right angle on a graph. The second way that we found out M was the formula where we had y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The new variable that they're introducing here today is b, and b is the y-intercept. Basically what b is where the line crosses the vertical axis. So if you look here, let's say you had a line that went through it right like this. Your b value is where it crosses the y-axis. So this is that point where it crosses that y-axis. So b would in this case be 1. So it's where it crosses the y-axis. X and y are just ordered pairs. So your x value, your y value, those are ordered pairs. That's the solution. Remember, you put in for x, you get something out for y. So that's what all those variables represent. Two examples here. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form of a line with the given slope and y-intercept. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and you're just getting in the habit of writing it in this form. So in example 1 it tells you that m is -4 and b is 5. So you're going to say y equals m, in for m is -4, x plus b, and b is 5. So this is slope-intercept form. -4 is your slope and 5 is your y-intercept. Example 2, same thing, y equals mx plus b. You're going to substitute 1/2 in for your slope. So y equals 1/2 x, and in for b is -10. So you could say plus a -10, or you could have y equals 1/2 x minus 10. Both are saying the same thing because you could always add a negative to get that plus a negative. So either would be correct for example 2. What we have to do for the next 4 problems is put things into slope-intercept form. So we have to put it in the form of y equals mx plus b. So the first thing that you'll want to do is find out m. M is the slope. So find 2 points that you know exactly what they are. So here's a point that I would know exactly what it is. Here's a point that I know exactly what it is. Looking at this graph, it is decreasing, so I should have a negative slope. And then I can go ahead and construct that right triangle. So I go over 1, which is plus 1, I move it down to the right, and when I move down it is -1. So I have 1 over -1, which equals -1 for my slope. Next, I need to go ahead and find out my b value. Your b value is where it crosses the y-axis. So here's my y-axis, and my line crosses right at this point, that point being -2. So I'd rewrite my equation, y equals, in for m is -1, x, and in for b is -2. Another way I can write this is y equals -x minus 2. The 1 is not necessary to have there. So this is actually the proper way to write it, but either would be okay. Example 4, put it in slope-intercept form. We're going to go ahead and start off by finding the slope. So find 2 points that we know exactly what they are. Here's 1 point, and a second point looks like it would be up in here. So we go ahead and say that this is a positive slope because it's increasing. And we're going to go ahead and do our right triangle. So I move 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units. When I move to the right, that is positive 3. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when I move up, that is a positive 5. My rise is 5. My run is 3. My slope is 5/3. Your intercept, your B value, where it crosses that y-axis, here's that y-axis, go down, and it intersects the y-axis at 0. So input these values into your problem here. We have y equals my slope 5/3 x, and it would be plus b. B is 0, so I really don't need to say plus 0. It's not going to get you anywhere when you add 0, so you can just go ahead and leave the equation as y equals 5/3 x. Example 5. Example 5, need to put it in slope-intercept form again. Y equals mx plus b. Looking at our problem here, the slope is increasing, so it is positive slope. Find 2 points that we know exactly what they are. Here's 1 point. Here's a second point. Increasing, I move 1 spot to the right. That's 1. I go up 2 spots. I would have my slope, m, as 2 over 1, which is 2. My intercept, b, it crosses the y-intercept. The line crosses that y-intercept down here at negative 4. So my equation would say y equals, in for m is 2x, and my b value is a negative 4. That is slope-intercept form of that line. That is the equation of that line. Last problem here. Looking at it, we'd have a negative slope. This is decreasing. We have our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. M, find 2 points that we know exactly what they are. Here's a point, and it looks like we have another point up here. So go ahead, construct that right triangle. I'm going to start here. I move to the left 1, 2 units. This would be negative 2 when I move to the left. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units. When I move up, that is positive. My rise being 5, my run being negative 2. So my slope is negative 5/2. B, where it crosses the y-intercept. Well, if we look at the y-axis here, we go down and the line hits that y-axis right here at that point, being negative 2. Plug the things into our slope-intercept form here. We have y equals, m is negative 5/2 x, and then our b value is negative 2. So in slope-intercept form, y equals negative 5/2 x minus 2. This will conclude our lesson 4 on slope-intercept form.